So I've been learning and reading up on psychology, and what I found, which I already knew, but this reinforced it, is that one of the biggest impacts and influences on your life are your parents or the people who raise you for most of your childhood. And it goes deeper than you think, deeper than you know, and even the most subtle, small things all seem to matter, and it all comes down to how you teach your child and how you condition them and how you influence them. And it goes to so many different areas from you, you as a role model to um, what sort of influences and rules and morals and codes that you instill on them, how you let them know through example and through your teachings, um, how to interact with certain things and what perspectives you have for certain things. For instance, if you take an optimistic spin on failures, or if you take a negative, pessimistic stance on anything that you fail at, and work ethic, and on and on and on, and it all goes into your child and it influences them. And what's interesting is that it goes very deep, and at the same time, um, you it's a lot based on luck, because this is something you were born into. It's not something you have a choice at, for the most part. Now, a lot of people aren't ideal parents. I don't think anyone's a perfect parent. Um, but one thing is that everyone has a parent, and that's one of those things that everyone has, and some people are not as lucky as you. And one example would be Doris Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett is one of the richest people in the world today. If you were to ask him about his parents, especially his dad, he would have said he painted a picture that his dad did no wrong. So his parents seemed like pretty good people, middle class people that brought him into the world and helped him get through life. His father was a politician, and so there was that in mind. But surprisingly enough, you would think, oh, well, Warren Buffett had lucky parents, and that's how he started out in the world, which is true. But his sister, who's not like right next door, it's like his sister, his sibling, Doris Buffett, one of his sisters, had a very horrible time. Her mother said a lot of sexist, abusive things to her. She was very toxic to her. Um, she would continue berating her verbally until she cried. And she did this even after she had become an adult and was well her own woman, so much so that her mother, Doris Buffett's mother, would call her and berate her and do all this ridiculous stuff, saying she's worthless and all this stuff, until she started crying. And then she would say, "Oh, it was wonderful talking to you. I feel so much better." And obviously, um, she had some sort of deep psychological issues. Maybe her mother did that to her. Who knows? We'll never know the whole picture. Doris Buffett actually went to a lot of therapy to uncover this and figure out what was going on. But it was a very horrible situation. And that was a time in society where people uh, put women down and said that they weren't as capable of men. Nowadays, we have billionaire women, um, but we're still not completely equal, especially in many other countries, developing countries, and so forth. And women are put into minor or subservient roles, and it's a horrible thing for the prosperity of the country, just from a common sense standpoint. But then again, like if you look at common sense in hindsight, there's a lot of things that didn't really make sense from a common sense standpoint. And so, anyhow, the point though, is that when you limit these ethnicities or these genders, you do as what Warren Buffett says, which is you are limiting the potential of half or a large fraction of the population, which is so true. Like all these women who could advance science or create businesses that become billion-dollar businesses or change the world, have a huge impact, um, create a lot of industries, companies, whatever it is, they are stopped um, because of stuff like segregation, glass ceilings, uh, etc., etc. And so back to the central message, it's just that yeah, your parents can have a huge influence, but luck plays a huge factor. And even though Doris Buffett played, she was born and grew up in almost as close as a uh, living environment in childhood as Warren Buffett had, she was limited by her mother in a sense when Warren was not abused in this way by her mother. And also, there's also the component of the fact that sometimes you have bad parents, and oftentimes it's tough for a child to judge that and judge what's right or wrong. If a parent's acting erratically or weird and um, again, conditioning you wrong by punishing you for the most random stuff, or just rewarding you for the most random stuff, or just being a bad parent, it's hard for you to decide. And sometimes you have those spoiled parents who have, I mean, spoiled children who have a uh, erroneous system where they think that their parents are horrible when in reality it's not true, and then they run away from home. But also you'll see through history that there are some times when the child got it right and the good decision to make they made, and they ran away from home at 10 years old and then made their own living and so forth and became very prosperous and successful. Obviously, though, the world is not perfect, and I don't think perfection is something that we will ever truly achieve. Um, uh, and it's very fortunate to have parents who are, they every parent has their flaws for sure, but it's definitely something that's very useful to have. Um, if you can get someone who just does a great job raising you. So that's all we want to say. And have a great day. If you are a helpful, loving person, um, go ahead and share this video with someone you uh, love or you think would be helped by, or leave this video a like and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.